Look, when discussing the greatest up-and-coming YouTube channels, Pick Your Battles Collecting has to be included in the conversation. The host is funny, smart, and really sexy. If you're into video games, technology, and physical media, you have to give this channel a shot.
What's going on, good people? I am on my way to work right now, and a few minutes ago I was watching a video about a very interesting topic, and it's one I've thought a little bit off and on here and there, but I think about it more and more as time goes on. You know, I remember a time when the internet wasn't a thing, so being Generation X, I grew up in an analog world, but then was there at the advent of the whole online digital culture as well. So kind of, have my feet in both worlds. I guess I'm a digital day walker, so to speak. And it seemed like the internet just kind of came out of nowhere. And likewise, I'd say within the last 3 or 4 years, AI and AI chatbots and using AI for all sorts of purposes has just kind of, man, it's just taken the world by storm, you know? And I've noticed on YouTube that I'm finding more and more videos that it's painfully obvious that they were either written by or narrated by or held both by AI. And generally within a few seconds of watching one of those videos, I'll turn it off. You know, usually the only reason I click on is because it had an interesting title. But the reason I don't dig those kind of videos is just mainly because they have no heart and they have no soul, which is, I'm not going to accuse the big time YouTube content creators of having no soul, but I generally shy away from them because I feel like while they have probably started out in earnest and wanting to be part of a community of like-minded people, you know, with success, obviously the whole situation is going to change for you, the whole dynamic. And you get to where, you know, you have, you know, over 100,000 subs. And then when you get to where you're like Mr. Beast and Team Raw and Unspeakable, and you have multi-millions of followers, you can't realistically interact with all of them. It's a challenge just to find the time, I would imagine, to interact with any of them. Because a lot of times their videos have incredibly high production values, cost a lot of money. Generally, there's entire teams of people working on them. And for that reason, I tend to shy away from them. You know, I gravitate toward gaming channels and physical media. I can't talk today, y'all. And physical media channels. And I purposely will seek out the ones from content creators who have under 10,000 subs. That's why my favorites are Iowa Retro Gamer Dad and well, they're so small that like all their names aren't coming to my head all of it, you know, just real quickly. But there's a bunch of them. If you were able to go into my sub list and see who I subscribe to, you'd see very few that have subs over or have subscribers over 10,000. And a lot of times these smaller YouTube content creators, I find that their production values a lot of time are on par with their much bigger counterparts. It's really something else. It's crazy. But I love them because they're so honest and most of them are so down to earth and they're cool people. And I'm sorry, I just pulled into Sonic. And of course, I find the one bay where the screen isn't working. So let me pull back around here. I may have to go to one of the ones on the outskirts of the parking lot, which I hate doing. But anyway, I find a lot of them, you know, they're earnest. They engage with their viewers. You know, the conversations are really great. And a lot of times they're just really good people. Like Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. You know, I bring him up a lot because I really love the guy. You know, well, I don't love him, but I love his channel. I love what he's doing. And he's very gaming centric, but he's also people centric. And, you know, he's like a lot of small time YouTubers. He's very real. and he's willing to talk about his life experiences and problems he's had. And I feel like that helps people, and it gives you a reason to tune in. Which again, that's the reason. Like my little ones, my two youngest, they love the bigger YouTube channels, and they're kids. They're easy to impress. But you have a lot of content creators, the big ones, as I understand it, are starting to withdraw from the platform. Some are quitting it entirely. A lot of them, it's because they have enough money that they can do that. They can retire. Or some of them, they've had their channels and their content companies purchased by larger corporate entities, and they got that big fat payday, and they're deuces. I'm out, and I don't blame them. I don't hold that against them. And the funny thing is about those of us with small channels. I have a small channel myself. I haven't even hit 100 subs yet. But the thing is, we all, it's a funny dynamic. We all want to be the big YouTube channels. We all want to be the next Mr. Beast or the next Unspeakable. But at the same time, for most of us, these channels are a labor of love, and we also want to keep that connection to our viewers and the connection to other people we meet in the comments. And I can't tell you how many channels I've subscribed to just based off of them making comments on other channels. And I found a lot of really great content that way. And I'm just thinking about, but with AI becoming increasingly present in our lives every day, I think you are going to potentially start seeing like a really big mass exodus from the platform as folks by and large, I think, feel like I do about AI. Like they don't really necessarily want to watch AI generated content. Because the thing about it is, like you've heard of the uncanny valley, like you're watching movies like The Polar Express, where the animation's pretty good, but all the characters on screen completely dead in the eyes. And I feel like that's the same effect that AI generated YouTube videos have, and online content on other social platforms have. It's like there's just that disconnect, and it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard to engage with it and feel connected to it when I know by and large it's not the thoughts and the feelings of another human being. I can't relate to it that way. But I do think if AI does become dominant on YouTube, I think you will see the rise of alternative video platforms. I know a lot of folks are hopping on Rumble these days, but mostly that's a political thing. But I can see Rumble very quickly becoming more general in its offerings. I can see people wanting to migrate to platforms where it's still largely human being dominated. I don't know. What do you think about it? How do you feel about AI? I will use AI from time to time to generate logos or generate images, but even then I find it, it kills me for all the processing power that these AI apps require to operate. They're still really, really bad at simple communications. And I find that, just to give you an example, when I'm generating logos, especially text-based logos, a lot of times it will misspell like everything, or it'll even start throwing characters in that I don't even recognize, like text characters. It's just, it can't get it right, and I have to go in and tell it, okay, yes, that's a cool idea, generate it again, but without the misspellings. And of course it'll fire back, oh, my bad, well, it doesn't say my bad, but it's like, oh, I apologize for any misspellings. And you may have to prompt it like 5, 6, 10 times before it finally gets one that's right. And right now I would consider more artificial unintelligence. I think they haven't quite cracked the general artificial intelligence yet. It's not doing a great job with self-learning. I don't know. I'm babbling on here. I just got a lot on my mind. I've hopped into YouTube at a time. I just started a year ago. Well, with this channel anyway. I started in, basically I feel like at the tail end of YouTube, kind of in the decline of it. And I would be satisfied if I could ultimately get my sub base up to you know, anywhere from like 15, 20,000, that would be amazing. That would be so cool. But I don't know. I don't know if cultivating those large audiences moving forward is necessarily going to be as feasible as it was 5, 10 years ago on the platform. Anyway, I am going to get my Sonic Cranberry Slush here. If you haven't had cranberry, it's freaking phenomenal. And I'm going to get my butt on to work. Anyway, I hope y'all have an absolutely phenomenal day. And remember, as always, pick your battles, pick them wisely, because not every hill is worth dying on.
What's up, y'all? This is Snoop Dogg. Thanks for checking out my boy's channel, Pick Your Battles Collecting. Like and comment, or better yet, subscribe. You know the deal for shizzle.